It's Monday, April 29. It's just a little bit before 7 Pacific Standard Time. It's going to be 6:55 in a minute. I'm just getting started here. Checking my charts for my BS system right now. Got a really strong leg down here. Just looking for this retest of the low. So this could be a second entry long if it's above the previous day close. But this might be another second leg down like this. We'll have to see what happens here. Let's see if we can get above the previous day close, which is the blue line. A little bit dangerous trying to take it on engulfing. All right, this is not good. So in a second, I'll talk about the open trade. I wasn't able to get it. Just keeping my eye on this because maybe on a different chart. It's just dangerous because I don't want it to close below. I want to close above the, let's try that. Risking my account on this one. Okay. Again, got less ticks. It's very annoying. $44.50. I'm just going to turn my screen off real quick. I want to check the actual account and see what it says the entry is. Yeah, it gave me 3 ticks of slippage on the entry. So I got 8 ticks. That's annoying. All right, turn this back on. Just don't want to show my name, my full name on my live account. So this was trade 1. Actually, trade 1, PA7. And I'm getting slippage on my entry on my follower account, so I only got 8 ticks. So it's kind of like choose my poison here, because the old copier, my entries were always perfect, and my exits, I always got, well, not always, but sometimes I would get bad fills or entered in the wrong position, or I would miss the entry entirely, and then it would enter me on my follower on the exit and enter me in the wrong position. So now I'm getting in correctly, but I'm getting ticks, multiple ticks of slippage on the entry point. Just gonna, well, let me update my stats, I guess. I still got to talk about the opening trade at some point because I didn't take it. Let's see. Today I'm 1-0. For the week, 1-0. $201. All right, so that's the stats. Anonymous drafts is your slippage on the entry or exit? Yeah, on the entry. I got 3 ticks of slippage, and you can see on the sim leader account, the high of the candle is 44.50. And on the sim leader, it enters correctly. So the sim leader, no slippage, it's in where it's supposed to be. But on the follower account, on the Apex account, it was it 3 ticks or 2 ticks slippage? Here, let me double check it. So it should be at 44.75. Let me turn off my screen real quick. All right, so if I turn back on the screen, so this is the follower account now. So it was actually 2 ticks of slippage, right? I was supposed to be in, the high of the count is 44.50, so I'm supposed to be in 44.75. So 2 ticks of slippage, and then I got 2 points, so 8 ticks. So the slippage was on the entry. The exit is where the exit was supposed to be, approximately. All right, turn this back off, switch accounts again. All right, so back on the sim account now. So yeah, I don't know quite what to think about that right now, other than, let me turn this off. I don't know what to quite think about that. It seems like it only happens, I only see it happening when I use a sim leader. When I have an Apex account as the leader and it's copying, like on the open trade, if it's copying to another Apex account, all the fills seem to be accurate, but not in this case. But at the same time, I'd rather only get 8 ticks than to have the old problem of, you know, it not getting filled on the entry and then I get filled on the exit and get entered in the trades in the opposite direction. So it's kind of like choose your poison. And because I really need to use the copier for ease of use for trading on YouTube, I'm just gonna have to accept it, because the alternative is too complicated. It just makes it too difficult for me to trade on YouTube if I'm not using the copier. So I don't know. Maybe I need to mess around with, maybe I need to try some things on the Replicanto trade copier and just try a couple different options in the settings and see if something helps, but kind of is what it is. So, all right. So count 7 has a trade. I guess I'll do account 6 next. I should probably talk about the open trade real quick. The open trade, I mean, it was like, it's pretty weird because the bottom level was pretty obvious and solid, except the thing that I didn't like about going for a short potentially was there was that white line I drew of support, but there was also the yellow line below it, which was the previous day high. So even though it's been like going in and out of it, above and below it during the session today before the open, I didn't want to put my entry above the yellow line, so I was going to put below it. So that's where that was. And then the long I had just above here, and then the candle before the open started coming up. You know, this candle before it actually opened went and would have triggered me into the trade before the open actually happened. So I just didn't want to get triggered technically before the open happened. So then I had to move my entry way out of the way and try to wait until this bar closed to decide where I wanted it. And I was still expecting a retest of the high the way this was pushing up anyway. So I didn't mind being below this because I figured we would get the high no matter what. But yeah, it basically, I guess I think this is the bar that would have triggered me in. And so I moved it, and I tried to move it back down in time for this bar on the open, whatever it was, however it played out. But I don't know, by the time I dropped the order, there was only like 5 seconds before the open, and it didn't trigger my entry. It gave me some kind of error and kicked back the order, and nothing got entered. So, and then it just did what it did. I mean, this move would have given me enough for the win, but I missed it. So then I actually was considering leaving my stop order down here for when it came back down, and it clearly would have worked, as we can see. But because I was just like, kind of like, man, I missed it. I didn't want to play this side too. If this side had worked and then it came back down the way it did, I would have done it on a different account down here. But so no trade on the open for me today, unfortunately. All right, so I guess I'm just trading my regular BS system here today, since I didn't get the open 2 days in a row. Didn't get it on Friday either. Friday I just chose to stay out of it. Today I actually tried to get in, but again, it was a little tricky because the move was happening before the official open. So just a little bit trickier. But it's fine. I'd rather not be in the trade than to make a mistake and get a loss when it should be a win or something weird. So just is what it is. All right. So just got this little trade, 8 ticks. I usually am trying to get 11 or more, but some slippage on the entry. Bummer, only 36 bucks on that account, but I'll take it. It is what it is. I'll just say I like this trade. Clearly, one leg down, 2 legs down. The close was above the previous day close, the dashed blue line. And so that's a level that I like to trade off of. Tried to break out of it and came back up. I think it tried to break out of it just because it needed a new low from this. So it got that new low. So to me, that's like a perfect entry. Really like that one. I had to find another chart here. So put this one up. All right. All right, there's a short here. I would have liked it better if it was off the previous day high. Yeah, because now it seems pretty legit to think 1 leg up, 2 legs up, back to the open. Looks like it's not even going to trigger the short there anyway. Although I just noticed on this chart, it looks like it triggered. So this is a loser on this chart. So I will not be trading this chart anymore. Which is the chart that I took my first trade on. So that's a bummer. So I've got 3 charts. All right, so I like this level to play off of potentially. It's almost like a perfect touch off that previous day high line with room. The only thing that makes me hesitant is just because I saw a chart just lose right here, right before this is setting up. This is going to trigger. We're going the other way, it looks like. So it looks like we're just going to go make that measured move. The fact that it pushed up like this now, like even if it came back down, I would stay out of it. It's coming back down and try to suck me in. It seems like we're going to go for this measured move. perfect tag off of the previous day high. I mean, you can see it's definitely a level. There's resistance here. There's kind of support here. Tried to be support here, broke through. So definitely potential for resistance here, but just the way this is forming, it's like even if it triggers underneath, I wouldn't trust it. So this is the second day in a row where I didn't get that open trade. And it's really funny how I just feel totally different when I'm trading now if I don't have that trade to start off the day. Like when you get that open trade in the morning, that, you know, at New York Open, and you get the trade and you get a win on multiple accounts, however many accounts you're trading it on. It's just like, okay, whatever happens the rest of the day, it doesn't matter because you know you have that in the bag. But when I don't have it in the bag, sitting here looking at one trade for $36, it's like, oh man, today's going to be the kind of day I wanted it to be, or I thought it would be when I woke up this morning. I got a lot of work to do. So just the way these bars are stacked up, I mean, I like that this potentially is setting up off of the previous day high, but I got a measured move that's higher, and it just seems dangerous to try to go short, even right at the spot that I typically like. I mean, there's like a part of me that wants to play it for the bottom of here, which might be possible, but I'm not going to take it if it's a bullish bar for sure. That much I know. If it's a bearish bar, I'm going to have to think about this. It seems like it's going to be bullish. Yeah, definitely don't like it there. Kind of looks a little bit better sort of on this chart, but still a doji. Best for me if it just doesn't trigger it here. Up, and here it comes. Engulfing. I'm just going to chill because I have the measured move. I don't like that's engulfing because then it can engulf and then just still keep going up. And it's triggered here. There was a lot of bar left, so my concern would be it triggers and then still just goes up in the same bar. It looks like it's trying to work. Man, it worked. If this wasn't an engulfing situation, I maybe would have taken the trade, but maybe I could have taken it on this one. But I don't know. I had that measured move in place, so to me it seemed like maybe it could have been a fake out there. Clearly would have worked, more than worked. I wouldn't be surprised that even though it worked, it's still going to go up here. Let's see. those weird days again. And my daughter is sick today, so usually today I take her to school. I won't be taking her to school, but my wife has a meeting at 12 Eastern, so I'm going to have to be done before that. All right, so it looks like it's trying to do the thing that I thought it was going to do, which is why I stayed out of this trade. Because in a situation like this, I just don't know that it's really going to go far enough for my scalp. I mean, it did this time, but sometimes it'll come up short of my scalp, and then it'll go on and go up like this. So I feel like I did the right thing, even though it worked. It's just especially tricky when it's an engulfing bar situation. All right, so I'm just going to hang and be patient here. It's interesting, the same trade set up on all three of my charts and worked on all three of my charts. And on all three of my charts, didn't look great. But that level, that level that I talk about, previous day high, yellow line, it seems like more times than not, the trades will work when you're at those levels. So I'm keeping my eye on it when it's these situations where I have a measured move higher still and the trade doesn't look that great in terms of the setup, but it still works. I want to see how often that kind of happens versus doesn't work. But it definitely seems like when I'm at those key areas, like if I was at the open price or previous day high or previous day close, those sorts of levels, when my setup happens right on those, it seems like they tend to work more than that. Like significantly more than that. How's everyone's trading day going out there? Hopefully you guys are getting a little bit more action than me. I would have really liked to have that open trade. I mean, it worked exactly, it would have been an easy win for me where I would have put my order. But just the way the market was moving leading up to that open, I just, I couldn't leave my order where it was because I probably would have got triggered slightly early. And, I just don't get, I don't trust it to get triggered slightly early because if that happens, what if it just shoots the other way real quick? So just trying to move it into place at the right time. I was really kind of close. I mean, I didn't move my long order until like 5 seconds before the market opened. So for whatever reason, it just didn't. I think there's that slight delay sometimes on the apex for the order to go in, especially when there's that kind of volatility. All right, so if we come up short here, the next thing I would be looking at honestly, is are we going to do something like this? It's going to be one of those situations where we have two big legs down. Just the fact that we came up short, the previous day high is playing resistance, almost leads me to think that that's a real possibility, because look at this move down. I mean, that's a significant one leg move. And if I look at the daily, we're right at the EMA. We've got a first entry short. I mean, this candle could very well turn into a bearish candle that triggers a second entry short on the daily. And I was talking about it on Friday, how I still think we'll get a retest of this. So if we're going to get a retest, like this would be the candle to turn bearish, and then the next day, tomorrow, be the one that triggers it back down, potentially. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. It's definitely too premature to like be biased this way just based on one red candle, but just to have it in mind. Just realized that on PA7, I'm like just shy of an $800 drawdown now. I mean, this account was below 200 drawdown, I believe, at the lowest. So with 800 drawdown, I don't know. Maybe next time I take a trade on it, I could take it with 2 contracts. It doesn't give you a lot of room. If it goes against you, you gotta think about it. The account that I'm gonna trade with next, PA6, has basically a full drawdown. All right, so this thing's fighting step. I mean, maybe I'll make that third leg, get to the open. I mean, price for me right now is kind of in an area that I can't trade regardless. I'm going to be right between the previous day high and the EMA. So depending on how anything might set up, I might just be in between two areas where I got to just chill. All right, so is it going to make this measured move after all? All right, so I'll take this off for now. Going to the original target, looks like. I was just watching Alpine's open trade. Looks like when he got entered, he missed his target by just a tick or two, and it turned against him. Looks like he lost one PA, or lost on one PA. It's not clear if he lost. I don't think he actually lost the PA. I think he had some kind of drawdown set on it where he couldn't lose more than a certain amount. So he lost on that one account, but then won on the rest when it went back up. I'm pretty sure if I was in the trade, it would have filled me at before the peak of the first candle, where I was trying to get in, but I wasn't able to get in fast enough. I don't want to be as high as what it looked like he was, so it's interesting. Yeah, I wonder what would have happened if I actually got in the trade, if I would have got filled. I wonder if I would have got filled before he did for his win. Seems like I should have, but anyway, looked like for most people they probably got in the trade, didn't get their target, and then it worked against them before it worked. So it's pretty stressful. It's interesting. So now I've got 12 wins out of 14 days, and then 2 days where I didn't get a trade. But that's better than a loss. All right, so again, coming up just shy of the measured move. But now we're above the previous day high, the yellow line, so I would think that we would still get there. Oh yeah, Alpine just showed. I'm watching way back. He just showed that he had like a risk parameter on one account that he couldn't lose more than $1,000. So he lost on an account he should have won on. All right, so again, coming up just shy on the third leg up. So again, this is going to make me ask that question. Are we going to do this? That's the question for me right now. in the daily. Has the feel of getting rejected right at this EMA. Setting up a second entry short. All right, so still interested to see what happens here. I mean, if you look at the whole session, it kind of looks like a head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder. If you look at it that way, after a big move up. And the setups for me. So still just this one trade for me today. I wonder what the 1 minute's looking like. All right. Gonna try and make a third attempt. If it gets rejected a third time, then this thing's going lower. It's gonna have to go through. It's just feeling like a continuation of last week for me. I have 6 trades last week. 23 in a row, 24 in a row with today's. But it's not like I'm making a ton of money. I mean, all my accounts are good except for this one trade, or this one account, I mean. But it's not like it's showing up on my PAs. most of my wins have been on the evaluations. If this gets rejected again right here, like this thing's got to be going down. If it can't get above this. So that'll be interesting. All right, so the only thing I'm seeing here is there's a first entry. So above here would be a second entry, but it's going right into the previous day high. So that's an area where I don't trade. So this is just kind of a no trade zone for me going along. If the long were to fail, potentially could be setting up a second entry short at the same time. And maybe that's a trade I could take. Right. So second entry long is forming on two of my charts, kind of pretty much the same way. They look almost identical. Rejecting. Yeah, this has the potential to really become a sell-off here, I think. And just the fact that I had this measure move, it's tried 1, 2, 3 times now to try to get up there. This is forming like little mini head and shoulders, right? Just makes it feel like it's not going to be able to do it. feeling this. If this is turns into a second entry long on an inside bar, kind of in the middle of this chop. And there's room to up here. It just looks really messy. I don't love it. All right, now it's not even showing strength. So that makes it easier going right into the EMA again and just not consider this. But same story on this chart and the same story on this chart. So if there's a second entry long that triggers, it might happen on all three of my charts at the same time. If it doesn't work, that'll be the end of my charts. Just very choppy for a long while now. This is no trade situation for me. It might work, might not. Staying out of it. It's already close to already being there. There, that would have worked. So it triggered on this chart and this chart. So far it's only worked on this chart. Now there's a potential of first entry, second entry short right behind it. Should be like a filled second entry long. It kind of fits my premise for going lower. But there's also a level of support right here. So I don't know. It's too choppy. It's going to also make two of my charts lose. So it might be a good short. Just don't like that the trigger is right where the support is right here. I feel like it's one of those times, even though I want to trade, I just gotta, and even though I think it's going lower, yeah, like this. To me, it makes sense we're going lower. It looks like it's trying to make the long work on these charts. Yeah, it needs to come up here for it to work on these charts and stay good. This market is just ugly choppy. I mean, 48 minutes of this. think the market knows what it wants to do. I'm just going to keep my cool and not do anything compulsive. Or impulsive. All right, here's the failure. It's also a second entry short. If it triggers below this bar, it's not a pretty looking setup. Be a failure on all these. This is the only one that wouldn't be a failure on as far as working for my scalp. It's too bad I wasted my one good trade today on the account where I had to trade the smallest. Yeah, if I traded a different account, I could have at least traded 2 contracts and had some kind of profit. $36. It's not very exciting. This market's so choppy, but I feel like if it steps underneath it, this thing's just gonna crater. But it seems like it's trying to have some strength still. Yeah, I mean, I really believe if it goes below this bar, this is going to be a good short, but I just don't like the way it's all stacked up. And it's just confusing looking. There's a level of support there. Just doesn't seem like a level that I want to go short, even though I feel like this is potentially going to be the thing that makes it just crater. But don't know till you know. I think this is going to trigger here. I don't believe in it enough to put a trade on it, but I think this is going down. This did trigger. Triggered by 1 tick so far. You can see that level of support is really trying to kick in. So I'm glad I'm not in this trade, even if it ends up working. It's just not clear. The only thing I could say is just going off of this chart. It's like we've tried to get to this measured move multiple times, which is basically just trying to get back to the open price. It's failed to do it 3 times, 3 pushes. And so it seems like it's gonna just drop the bag now. Watch this thing just go. Yeah, got that measured move. 17,800. Here it goes. All the buyers going to give up here. Let's see. Hasn't quite worked for my scalp yet. Come on, market. Do something. Market's such a tease, man. It's just like trying to make everybody think. It's trying to make people that think shorts. It's trying to make you to believe short. Longs trying to make you believe long. It's just like, is everyone just getting chopped up here or what? I mean, look at this on the 1 minute. And that tells the story, right? Like, you should just be scalping in between here. Just put limit buys here at the bottom and limit sells up here. But look, this thing wants to go. It really does. I really believe it. It wants to go lower. That's the problem. If you're doing it on the 1 minute and you're just playing that game of just trying to play this noise, you're going to get stuck in this if this thing drops. And then you're going to get a loser at the end of it. That's the problem with that strategy. There it goes. So that would have worked for my profit target, clearly. So my instinct was right, but man, it's just took a long time for it to finally decide to go. And then even still, this support could still hold. So even though the trade worked, doesn't seem to be wanting to give up this level yet. I'm still thinking though. Still thinking this. That's just my hunch. I don't know anything, but so it seems like one big leg down, expect another big leg down. So I only have this one chart left actually because the other charts, that long didn't work. First entry, second entry above here, that didn't work. Same with this one. So that's really the reason why I probably should have taken the short on this, just knowing that it wasn't working on those charts. And it was a second entry short on this chart, but man, ugly setup. All right, let's see if there's any other charts to trade. Just looking to see if there's any other charts for me to trade. Sounds like my daughter's waking up, so at some point she might want me before 12 Eastern. Just not seeing any other charts. Just not seeing. It's just another one of those days. It's like a continuation of last week for me. Just playing slow and steady until the market starts to decide to do something again. This thing's just going to be like, is it going to just be a slow fall down? Or, I mean, is this it? Because this is one leg, 2 legs. It's already almost there. And 2 legs. Came up shy of that. I don't know. It's a confusing market. All right, so my attempt to find another chart is worthless. There's no point. It's not happening. So just going to stick with this one chart. So I got the one chart to trade. And I'm definitely going to have to stop in about 40 minutes from now, if not earlier. So we'll just have to see if something can set up that I like. My guess is usually what happens on days like this is the big move happens once I'm done for the day. That's what's been happening lately. I mean, this to me is setting up like a perfect second entry short on the daily. I definitely believe the market's going to want to retest this low. So we're at the EMA. I mean, it just makes sense to me that this would end up being a bearish bar for the day. That's what I'm feeling. And then triggers tomorrow or in the next session. Just a boring day. I mean, it's really just the volume is low. And we came up short of this measured move now, so I don't know. Coming up short. Now we're going to go to the top. I have no idea. So 1 minute look like? I don't know. Today just sucks, honestly. You had to move at the open, then the move to the other side, and then other than my one trade here, it's just been nothing. I mean, look how sideways this has been this whole time. Since we got into this level. An hour, 18 minutes. And from there to there, 16 points. To the high, 46 points. Just not a whole lot to work with. Well, since I have some time here, my plan moving forward is when I trade the open trade today, I was only going to take it on 2 accounts. I was going to take it on, continue taking on PA6 for 1 contract and Eval 36. I was going to take it with 3 contracts and try to pass it on the next open trade. So that'll be my plan tomorrow, is those 2 accounts on the open only. And then if I get a win, this will be a PA account next. So I'll have another 50K PA. And then the next day I would trade this PA again on the open trade. And then one of these 2. And I'm just going to try to, these will take a couple more trades. So I'll pick one and try to trade that 2 days in a row with the PA. And I'll try to pass, whichever one again in 2 days and get another PA. And then once that one's passed, then I'll trade PA6 again with this one and try to get this one passed. And in theory, by the time I've done all that, PA6 would qualify for a payout if I don't run into any losses in that process. And I would have, 1, 2, potentially 3 additional PAs, right? And so then once this qualifies for a payout, hopefully, then I'll move on to this one, start putting this PA8 on the opening trade. And I'll trade it with this one, try to pass that one. And then I'll have another 25K PA after 2 more trades, I guess. Or, yeah, 2 more trades, I think. And then the plan will be to trade those PAs. And then I just got to decide whether I'm going to get more evals for the 80% off tomorrow before it ends, or what, or take a chance and see what they do with the next promo, and hope that the next promo will be at a good time, 80% or better. That'll be a good time to get more evaluations while I'm working on the PAs. But in theory, I'll have plenty of PAs to be working with that I don't need evaluations as much. I just want to have evaluations as backup so that I can work on getting more PAs. And that way, when I do get to payouts on this next set of PAs that I'll have, including the new ones, that I'll be able to have more PAs behind those. So it's kind of the near term plan, if it goes well. And first, I got to be able to start taking the open trade again. It's been 2 days in a row where I haven't been able to take it. So I know there's a lot of news events this week, early before the open, I believe. So I'm not sure how that's going to affect what the open trades look like this week, but just continue to try to trade within my system. And, the most important thing is just not get losses right now, because I'm at like such a critical point with my accounts. I mean, the open, you just never know when you're going to get into a bad open trade, but that's the other thing. I did a little bit of playback over the weekend just on the open trade. I didn't have a lot of time, but I was able to get a few more days in. And now I counted all together. I've taken 125 of them between my Apex accounts live in the morning and playback back testing. And I've won 120 out of 125, so that's 96%. So I have 125 trades. Saying I'd lose 4 out of 100 percent-wise. So I guess for every 25, potentially lose once. You only need to win about 12 or 13 in a row to qualify for a payout on PA accounts. Trading 2 contracts. So depending on how those losses fall, payouts should come pretty well just from the opening trade, not even including my intraday scalping, which has been slow last week and this week, but we'll see. This market just isn't doing anything. It's just, you can really see it on the 1 minute. I mean, this is just not a great trading day. I bet there's a lot of people getting chopped up trying to go for bigger swings, I would think. Just a whole lot of sideways. This is back to the 1 minute. Just nothing looking clear like a direction. You can tell I'm just kind of like itching for a trade, but there's no trades. So I still have the theory about going all the way down here. Is it just happening at a super slow speed? Just drip, drip, drip. I mean, it really does look like one leg down, the second leg down could be expected. It's slowly doing it. It's just virtually untradeable. All right, so now see if it gets this measured move first, and then what it does. I mean, look how long it took from the time I wanted to go short, or was it first entry here, from here to just go, oh, that's the wrong tool. Where is it? Here. To just go from this tick to here. It's taken 32 minutes to go 23 points. But it's starting to pick up some steam. So it'll be interesting to see what it does here at the measured move, and then it'll be interesting to see what it does here at the previous day close and the low of day. If it just slices right through it, then pretty clearly we're going to that measured move. It seems like a likely destination right now. But who knows? Anything can happen. All right, so far no reaction here at the measured move. So it's another situation of where my read on the market is good, but just no ability to take advantage of it for a trade. One day when I have reads like this, I'll just be able to take them, right? I'll just be able to go for it and put on one mini here and just let it run, right? One day. I did forget to change the number of days traded on PA7. So it's the 20th day. 20 days to be under the starting balance by $360. Cool. It's exciting stuff. The frustrating thing is just feeling like I'm at a point in my trading where if I'm getting the setups, I'm getting the opening trade, like things should start happening. But then I keep running into days where it's just not enough going on for entries for my system. So time is rolling by and it feels like I'm not progressing, even though I know my trading has progressed. But just not seeing it in the balance area of the accounts, and certainly not in payouts. Although it's funny if I take the time to like add up how much I've made on all these evaluations, and I'm trading all these evaluations with my real strategies. I'm not YOLOing any of them. I made 2,500. Another 2,500 is 5,000. Made another 1,000, 100. So 6,100. Plus another 2,700. So that's what, 8,800. Plus 1,000 here, 9,800. Plus another 900. So 10,700. So I've made 10,700 between all the accounts, but it doesn't mean anything. Because most of that is on the evaluations. So that's not real money ever. So that's the hard part, is to understand that I have been doing well to build up these accounts that much, but at the same time, it's just been such a slow process for me that I'm not seeing any rewards yet. All right, so here we are, approaching the previous day close again. I mean, the gap was already closed earlier, and we've already gotten this measured move now. So let's see if the market has a rally in it to stay within this, or the other thing I would say is this is now a second attempt to reach. Well, it's kind of like a first attempt, a second attempt, a third attempt. So it'll be interesting to see if this doesn't continue down, then there might be a rally, and it might, it might come up short of this and just go strong the other way. So, but the daily chart is starting to look like what my expectations were for the day, which is to set up a second entry to the short side on the daily after today's over. So we'll see. I gotta stop soon. I got like 10 minutes left and then I gotta stop. Yeah, I mean, the likelihood of me getting another trade in the next 10 minutes is really, really small. What's the 1 minute look like? I mean, I just don't see a reason to take any trades on the 1 minute. Definitely no trades for me on the tick charts for my system. The only one was this one. But even how it finished, it's like maybe when it finished there and then kept going, maybe I could have entered late, but I just don't typically do that. Yep. Sounds like my daughter's here, so I'm probably going to be stopping now. Be right back. All right, so I'm with my daughter, and I'm going to be with her for the rest of the day. So I'm going to have to end the stream here. Just the one trade for me. Just the one trade for me here. And that'll be it. I'll be back tomorrow, live stream 10 Eastern, and hopefully tomorrow I'll get that open trade. So yeah, 201 wins and 45 losses, 82%, 1-0 for the week. And still just 12-0 on that open trade on the Alborb. And hopefully we'll get those for the rest of the week, but we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the likes and subscriptions. And
Daddy, what are you talking about?
and I appreciate everyone that's been using the code. You can use that code. 80% ends tomorrow. So use this code or any other. And
Daddy, what are you talking about?
make sure you get the 80% before it's over. And 1 day pass over tomorrow as well. I'm talking to YouTube. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Be back tomorrow.
I like YouTube.
Hope you had a good trading day.